Welcome back. We're talking about the digestive system and primarily the digestive glands and spleen. We have discussed the embryology of the pancreas in the section before, and now we'll see the clinical components of when this embryology goes wrong. So this section has been divided into various clinical components of the pancreatic embryology gone wrong. Let us take a look on all of these one by one. So first of all, we have the annular pancreas. Now what happens is, so this is the foregut, this is the midgut, this is the junction between the foregut and the midgut from where this hepatic bud and dorsal pancreatic bud and the ventral pancreatic bud is being formed. So initially, the dorsal pancreatic bud, the ventral pancreatic bud is bifid, that it has two lobes. These lobes usually join with each other and then come to lie to the opposite side, and they join with the dorsal pancreatic bud to form the adult pancreas. But now, the growth and migration of two lobes of this bifid ventral pancreatic bud occurs in the opposite directions, as a result of which it forms a ring around the developing midgut, as a result of which there is tightening of in this area, which may lead to duodenal atresia. This ring of pancreas is known as the annular pancreas. Here you can see these are the right and the left lobes of the ventral bud of the pancreas. This is the second part of the duodenum into which this bile duct is being opened. So this is the dorsal pancreatic bud. Since there's a growth in the opposite direction of both these buds, as a result of which these buds engulf the second part of the duodenum and a collar of pancreatic tissue is formed around it, as a result of which there is duodenal atresia due to this ring of pancreas. So let's see. Now the pancreatic tissue completely surrounds the second part of duodenum and it causes its obstruction and tightening. The bifid pancreatic bud fails to fuse to form a single mass. This is the cause of this. When the bifid ventral bud, which was supposed to unite and move to the opposite side, does not unite. So this occurs. The two lobes of the ventral pancreatic bud grow and migrate in opposite direction, hence forming a collar around the second part of the duodenum. So it occurs around the second part of the duodenum at the site of opening of the common bile duct, because the ventral pancreatic duct originates in close unison or along with the hepatic bud. It forms a collar of pancreatic tissue before it fuses with the dorsal pancreatic duct. It does finally fuse with the dorsal pancreatic duct, but before doing that, it forms a collar of tissue around the second part of the duodenum. Now, since the duodenum becomes completely surrounded, it may cause duodenal obstruction. So, what would be the signs and symptoms of the patient? So vomiting may start immediately or a few hours after birth. The radiograph of the abdomen would reveal a double bubble appearance. It is also associated with duodenal stenosis because development of the duodenum did not take place as it was supposed to due to the collar that surrounds the duodenum. And due to gas in the stomach and dilated part of the duodenum proximal to the site of obstruction, we see a double bubble appearance. Early surgical intervention is necessary to relieve this obstruction. And finally, the surgical procedure consists of duodenojejunectomy. So we make a connection between the duodenum and the jejunum, and you cannot actually cut this annular tissue that surrounds the duodenum, because pancreas also has an exogenous function and you may not know exactly. You may cut the pancreatic ductal system and it cannot be repaired once cut, or it is very difficult to repair. So, what is a divided pancreas? Obviously, as it is very evident from the figure, the ventral pancreatic bud does not fuse with the dorsal pancreatic bud, as a result of which we have a divided pancreas. So, the ventral and the dorsal pancreatic buds they fail to fuse. So, as a result, the two parts of the pancreas are derived from two buds. They remain separate from each other, and they drain separately into the second part of the duodenum. So now, accessory pancreatic tissue. What is accessory or ectopic pancreatic tissue? Ectopic is at an irregular site. So any pancreatic tissue that is not present at its normal site is ectopic pancreatic tissue. Now, there may be small masses or nodules of pancreatic tissue that may be formed. And what are the major sites where they can be formed? They can be formed at the wall of the duodenum. This is the wall of the duodenum. Here can they be formed. Now, on the Meckel's diverticulum, then in the gallbladder, this is the gallbladder, this is the Meckel's diverticulum. Here it can form the lower end of the esophagus, wall of the stomach, this is the wall of the stomach, and spleen is also an area where this accessory pancreatic tissue can be formed. So now the inversion of the pancreatic ducts. So what happens? The main pancreatic duct is formed by the duct of the dorsal pancreatic bud. Usually the main pancreatic duct is formed by the union of the dorsal and ventral pancreatic duct, but the ventral pancreatic duct is the main pancreatic duct, and the proximal part of the dorsal pancreatic duct, it forms a connection with the ventral pancreatic duct. However, when the inversion takes place, the main pancreatic duct is formed by the duct of the dorsal pancreatic bud. Now it opens on minor duodenal papilla because the duct of Santorini, which is the accessory pancreatic duct in the usual conditions, it opens in minor duodenal papilla. It drains most of the pancreatic tissue. Here you can see this is inversion of the pancreatic ducts draining on the minor duodenal papilla and draining most of the pancreatic tissue. Duct of the ventral pancreatic duct bud, it develops very poorly. So here you can see a poor development of the duct of the ventral pancreatic bud, as a result of which the duct of the dorsal pancreatic bud has to carry out the entirety of the function. Now this duct of the ventral pancreatic bud, it opens on the major duodenal papilla with the help of common bile duct. So this was all about the clinical correlates of the pancreas and its ductal system. In this we discussed how annular pancreas is formed, what is the clinical consequence or the clinical significance of the annular pancreas, and what are the presentations or signs and symptoms of a patient with annular pancreas. We also saw the surgical correction as how to correct a patient with annular pancreas. Then we saw inversion of ducts as well as the failure of fusion of the two lobes of the pancreas. I hope you understood it. For further sections, keep watching sqadia.com.